Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 13th of June 2019. Yesterday, bonds higher, Bitcoin higher, stocks and commodities on the skid, as it says there. And one actually is worth looking at just before we go into the Dow is crude oil. And a very interesting picture here. This is the July futures. You can see that this broke the 200 bar moving average. In the weekly chart, it broke the 200 bar moving average, came back and had a look at the 200 bar moving average in the weekly chart, and currently is below the 200 bar moving average in the daily. Now, this is signaling a surplus of crude oil, which means there is a slowdown going on globally. And if it isn't that, which we know it is, but if you were to play devil's advocate, then you would say it's to do with or too much oil being produced. But it does have an impact eventually, and we'll move on to the Dow. And you can see how this market's risen on fresh air up to the 76% retracement and is now making lower highs. It is struggling there a bit at the moment, and on the overnight the market came back below the 26,000, but has managed to, or just about managed to get back to that sort of level at the moment. So an important level for the Dow. So yesterday in the pre-market session, we didn't get quite the ramp that we've seen of late. Still 100 points there in the pre-market session. Took a moment or two to get through the 200 bar moving average. If you look at this bar here and the volume, you can see how the market, when it touched this, the selling came in immediately at this level, and then eventually it was able to drive through, which you see there with the increase in volume, before the market then kicked off. And when it did kick off, it was immediately hit with sell orders. That same pattern, see the market coming down, there's still this battle, and then 76% retracement there, and then working our way back down to the lows that we see here, and then another retracement, and then all the way through the session was to get it back below the 200 bar moving average. You can see this all the way through. It's desperate to keep it below this level, but eventually the market breaks through here, comes back, and you see them buying back here. And again, the increase in volume at the 200 bar moving average is absolutely fascinating as the market closes here. And then we get back above, and then we manage to, again, once the pattern here is very simple. On the electronic system, it's the futures. They're not selling the shares. But as soon as the market opens at 2:30, you can see this battle going on, and quite amazing. But overnight news sent the market lower. Obviously, futures markets driving prices lower, back below the 200 bar moving average. We see the buying coming back here as the market tests. See the volume there, retracement, and now we are working our way back above the critical area here. It is critical because the 26,000 level also coincides at the moment with the 200 bar moving average as well. DP above this, so there's going to take a bit of serious volume to drive this market back through this level here. So keep an eye on it, see if the pattern prevails again today. But an interesting picture taking place here. There was only the one trade yesterday in the Dow where the market eventually moved higher. I'll just find it for you there. But it was a horrible sideways trade. Again, this is the choppiness of the session, because a lot of the smooth trades and price action is in the pre-market and aftermarket session at the moment. So there's definitely a battle going on in the main event. News today. Well, there you go. There is no news today. So the market will be free to move higher if it wishes to do so. In the pounds, well, we're defined range as they're all out now. What I mean by that is the potential replacement for May. They're all battling it out, so don't expect too much movement on the pound until you see the new one selected. I think this is in response to Johnson yesterday, although I can't guarantee it. You'd think it'd be going the other way. This is probably more Johnson giving his speech, but it was actually in the morning part of the session there. And then Bitcoin also high yesterday. Some fascinating price activity in here as well. Start with the daily. The market breaking above the 76% retracement, but struggling at the moment, just trading slightly below it there. But in the 4 hour, you can see the market coming back above the 200 bar moving average here. See how it goes. If it does move lower, see if it sits on this. And yesterday, fascinating picture here as well. As we see in the pre-market session, the market coming back here, sitting here, and then prices moving higher off all of these 3 points of support. So once again, a fascinating picture emerging here with this 200 bar moving average, no matter what the time frame. And speaking of which, let's just switch over here. I just want to show you something as well with Deutsche Bank. Managed to find a chart of it on the TradingView software. This is the one traded in New York as well. It's in dollars, and on the 30-minute you can see the market banging its head against the 200 bar moving average as well. Yesterday you can see also that the market is starting to sort of curve around there a bit as well. It's rounding over. So let's see what happens, because if it continues to move lower, that's the 640 which I've marked in, so we can keep an eye on this on a daily basis. Also a very good article yesterday, which I'll find the link for and post into the email about Deutsche Bank. But the one thing they missed in the interview on Bloomberg was about the derivatives, the 50 trillion. They spoke about all of the usual fluff with regards to cutting costs and all that nonsense, but what they forgot to mention was the 50 trillion in derivatives, obviously for many reasons, probably to avoid any sort of panic. Implied volatility 1385 on Tuesday. Wednesday was, drumroll, 1384, so not a lot difference there. There you go, there's the chart now. So no, not a lot happening there. And the yield curve remains the same at the moment, inverted all the way through to the 20-year. So yeah, interesting. But keep in mind today, no news, so that leaves the Dow free to move to the upside. The pound will remain sideways. Bitcoin, it looks like it's got a bit of resistance where it's currently trading at. So we'll see as the day unfolds how the markets deal with it. Okay, that will do it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.